The Derek Jeter documentary came to an end tonight, episode 7 of The Captain. This part of the documentary focused on the final game of Derek's career in 2014, and then him getting inducted into the Hall of Fame and becoming an owner and manager of the Marlins and having kids, getting married and having kids with Hannah Davis, now Hannah Jeter, who showed a lot of stuff there. So my main takeaway, I honestly was an emotional wreck the first 10 minutes. Reliving that final game. I remember watching that game and just being, I could not believe that Jeter in his final game hit a walk-off single to win it, and all the ups and downs. We're thinking the Yankees going to win, and then they're not, and then they give up the 3 runs to tie the game, and then Jeter gets the walk-off. There were so many emotions that day, and this documentary really did a great job of reliving that. And honestly, I feel like the documentary could have ended right after that. I don't think we needed Jeter getting in the Hall of Fame. And I will say this though, I did like Hannah Jeter is now becoming my secondary MVP of the series. She's so adorable and also very gorgeous. And then seeing Derek with his kids was also very sweet. He seems like we're only getting a glimpse of it. It seems like he's a wonderful dad. Him talking about I never had kids when I was playing it's not a surprise. Jeter's I didn't get married and I didn't have kids when I was playing because I was only focused on playing and winning. So I didn't have time for anything else. And even though he admitted it would have been cool to have my kids there when I'm playing, at the end of the day he was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm good. I don't need any of this. Right now I'm just focused on playing baseball, and so it was cool seeing and Derek and him talk about how he proposed and them getting married, and it was sweet. And again, the footage of him talking about being a father and footage with him and his kids was just so wonderful. And again, Derek Jeter, 6th title, locking up Hannah Davis. That is a really 5 championships as a player. Married Hannah Davis at 6. I know I mentioned that in the last episode, but it really is just impressive. Shout out to him. He's truly lived a charmed American life. And then after that, there was stuff about, again, the Marlins stuff, which I honestly didn't care. If I had one complaint, it's that this documentary probably could have ended. This could have been 6 parts, and this documentary could have ended after Jeter's final game. Because even after his final game, they did a little montage of moments from his career. It was a little cut of just all these great moments, and the last image is him just walking into the locker room after the final game. That could have been it. I really don't, I didn't need this documentary to also focus on his Marlins career. And again, the footage with him and his wife were nice, but I didn't really need it. So overall, just looking at it, that's probably my one complaint, is that this documentary is probably an episode too long. But overall, I really enjoyed this whole documentary. It made me see a different side of Derek, which I really was hoping for. I'm sure some people that wish he had gotten further, but to me, again, I got to see a different. We were so used to seeing this one Derek Jeter for years, but we knew there was an interesting character in there, and I'm glad this documentary showed that. Seeing Derek talk openly and honestly about some of the things that happened in his career, whether it was A-Rod or race or whether or not he was a better shortstop, there was a lot of great stuff in there that I really appreciated. Again, if we're going to compare this to The Last Dance, this is not The Last Dance, because The Last Dance had all that extra behind-the-scenes footage from the 90s that it had, and it had all these great interviews with Jordan and Pippen and Phil Jackson and all these guys, and Jordan has just been such an entertaining character to have his reactions to. But it was so enjoyable to watch. It was so enjoyable to enjoy seeing that and just reliving those great times that Derek had with the Yankees from the mid-90s all the way to 2014. It was so enjoyable, and so I enjoyed it. Great job by everybody at ESPN. Randy Wilkins, who, if you have not followed Randy Wilkins on Twitter yet, you should. He is not only a great filmmaker, but he's also a fantastic Twitter follower, because he's very open and honest about the Yankees and everything that goes on with them. He doesn't hold back. Just because he did a documentary on one of the Yankees' most prominent players does not mean that it does not mean that he's open to. He's not going to tone down on the criticism of the Yankees. He's very open, especially in this last recent road trip, about how bad the Yankees have been. So I really appreciated that from Randy. So follow Randy Wilkins on Twitter. Again, he's going to do great things in the future in this documentary. And again, he's a great Twitter follower. And yeah, this was an enjoyable couple of parts. Enjoyable 6-7 episodes. Again, this episode I don't know if we needed, but it was great going back and looking at the Yankees and looking back at that time. It was very, very fun, very enjoyable. And I don't know if I'm ever going to watch this documentary again, but I enjoyed it all throughout, and it was truly a lot of fun. Thank you to ESPN and the Yankees and Derek for putting this out there. And my other takeaway, I guess, from this documentary is I really want to see an A-Rod. I feel like that's the last thing. The Jeter documentary was cool, but the A-Rod documentary I feel like will be even better, because A-Rod is such a more interesting character than Derek, and hopefully we'll get that one day. That's it for now, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. I'll be back tomorrow to break down the first game of the series between the Yankees and the Red Sox. Take care, and God bless.